All right, guys, this one's a fun one to analyze because it's a little bit different from the usual ones. By the way, a lot of you are watching often but not subscribed, so if you are, please subscribe and hit the notification.
Season premiere.
Good. I'm Megan, but I play Rachel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna mix that up.
No, it's fine. Do you know my first name in real life is Rachel?
Really?
I've never been called it, but my parents named me Rachel Meghan Markle, and it's just confused every legal document for my entire life.
And now, of course, the show is even more confusing with that in.
Exactly. So
If you didn't catch that, I think it cut off. This woman accidentally called her Rachel at first. Honestly, so far so good. Megan, though, does her weird grasping. I don't know if you've seen the way she grasps people. Like, it's very, very awkward. But so far, so good. This woman interviewing her, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. She's quite nervous.
She called me by my chosen name.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I literally knew that.
I know you did.
Me and your parents
She's
were like,
on to
hooked
something,
up.
this one.
Okay, we're with Megan Zane, who plays Rachel on Soon.
I'm Meghan Markle.
Oh my gosh,
Rachel Zane.
I'm mixing all of this up. This is the worst interview ever.
It's not. It's great.
Just kidding. Okay,
Ooh,
so
look at that look.
first of all,
Yes.
your character.
That was a little bit weird. You know,
Literally.
no, it's not. It's great. And then she just, this look right here. That's a little bit bizarre. Oh, I don't know what that is. Is that Botox? But this one probably is before she used it. But wow, just look at that.
Everywhere we turn, it seems like she's getting beat up by Mike.
Right?
Emotionally. Tell me about that.
I know, it is so hard to read the scripts and go like, really? Her threshold for patience and tolerance of Mike Ross is high, but I think as women we relate to what it's like when you really have feelings for someone. You put up with a lot more, I think, and so watching that struggle for her, for me, is really exciting because I think it.
Has Megan had feelings for people? I don't know. Yeah, she's had feelings for like, oh, this is a producer, this is a chef, I want to have a food blog, I want to be in TV, I want to be a princess, you know.
Humanizes her, and that's what makes her interesting. Like if she was just so perfect and didn't care, what's interesting about that? It's watching her be vulnerable. It's watching her heart melt a little bit. And in these back 6 episodes, what's really fun is to see that maybe he gets his act together, or not, but at least that it always feels like it's edging a little bit closer. So it feels good for me to read and see that for Rachel.
And in these next 6 episodes, you're not giving up on him, right?
No. Relentless. You know,
I'll say 2 things here, just overall observations about this. One, again, I always like to call it as I see it, not just say like bad, criticisms, because that's not real if I'm just saying it. This seems pretty fine to me for the most part. She has the weird expression there for a moment, but to me, if I didn't know who she was, right? Like a lot of these interviews, I think that's a great way to look at it. Like if I didn't know who she was and just saw the interview or the action, what would I think? Here it seems honestly like a passionate actress who's talking about a role, who's actually into it. And she's changed over time. I think she's gotten worse, maybe throughout one's life, more or less narcissism. And I'll say why partially I think this is as well in a moment.
and it's so funny because I'm like, what happened to the girl in the pilot who was just like so sassy and had no interest? Well, they connected, and so I think, especially because Rachel goes through a lot in these back 6 episodes regarding trying to be a lawyer, stuff going on with her family. It makes her even more vulnerable. So it makes her heart even more open to heartbreak.
Yeah. Tell me more. We're going to learn more about your family these next couple episodes. Tell me more about what's going to be revealed.
Do you see who's next to me? The creator of our show is right next to me. If I talk about what's going to be revealed, I won't be in season 3.
Okay, but
I'll give you guys credit. I'll give her credit. I generally thought that was fairly funny. Like, it didn't get me laughing out loud, but this is the best interview I've seen from her, I think. And I'll say part of that might be, there's another interview where it's another interview, a woman interviewing her who's like pretty nerdy and not much of a social threat or like a threat from men. I don't want to criticize, be mean to the woman interviewing her, but, it just seems like certain women are more of a threat. They might be, I don't want to be mean to this woman, but just more of a social threat, more of a dating threat. And then this woman's also like nervous. I remember one of you commented, there was another woman interviewing like that, and it was like the girl who wants to be cool and wants to be everyone's friend and like, hey, do you want to join my club and stuff? Like, she's kind of like that. So I think maybe Meghan's very comfortable. It's like, there's no way this woman's a social threat in any way. There's no way she's gonna they're gonna be competing for men most likely. So she's comfortable just being real.
We're learning a little bit more about the onion peel, the onion layers of your character involving your dad and everything.
And it was a slow burn, right? Because I think at the onset you really see Rachel in a sort of cookie cutter way. Maybe you start to learn that she likes food or she likes fashion or little elements of her personality when she has that scene with Donna at the bar drinking. You get to see who she really is. But these back six are peeling off layers in a different way to understand not just where she comes from, but
okay, now it's starting to get boring. It's funny, like, as she talks about herself. Again, I think, as people have said, she views her character as herself, and she clearly had a big, heavy hand in influencing it. But it's just boring. Like, Rachel's favorite foods are this, they're this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's just getting a little boring. Like, she's not relating to anyone else. It's just about the character, her character.
Like, why she is the way she is. And I think it makes her a lot more relatable, and I think it makes her a lot more likable. So, yeah, the family stuff is great. It's life isn't as easy as it seemed for Rachel. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And I read that
weird expression there. What is that? She's like she looks like a snake looking at like a mouse, and she makes this expression often. I would say also, just a theory, I think partially why she's like a really bad actress is, again, I don't know much about acting, but I've heard a big part of it is like you're trying to make your other castmates look good and you're relating your character to the other characters. It's like social. So she's so focused on her character because it's her. Maybe that's partially why her acting's not good, or she might just stink, but maybe that's part of it.
Never originally going to go into acting.
No,
right?
Right. I was going to do politics.
So it's incredible that someone like that just, you're already on a show that blew up. What does it feel like to have that opportunity?
It's amazing. I grew up in LA, so I grew up in this industry and obviously loved entertainment. My father's a lighting director. I just always wanted to do something different, and working in politics was exciting for me. But I was saying, as we were driving up, 2 blocks down the street is Paper Source. I used to teach gift wrapping classes there. I used to teach calligraphy classes there.
Wow.
Gift wrapping classes? And imagine Meghan the politician. I mean, she does behave like a politician, like a not good one. A lot of lying. Gift wrapping classes. And to me, again, that's the sort of thing. You get that a lot in my city. There's a lot of like offspring of wealthy people, a lot of like rich kids, and they'll have this story like, oh, I'm a starving college student, like, oh, I'm doing gift wrapping classes, but like that doesn't actually support them, right? Like they'll like say that like, oh, we're a broke college student, and then they have like a $3,000 a month apartment that their parents are paying for. Like, it's just like this like game they play, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, we're broke, we have our part-time job, but like, no, you're being heavily supported.
So to be here tonight and to see that contrast and what happened in my life from like an auditioning actress just trying to make it work to pilot after pilot to have one that's going into a 3rd season with fans that are so supportive. I mean, I couldn't be more grateful. It's really amazing.
I feel like she overstates like her struggle. I mean, we know that and how hard she worked. I would be interested to hear like how many pilots she actually went on, how much of a grind she actually did, because I don't think there's like a ton of evidence of her working very hard at all. I mean, even her podcast, wasn't that faked, right? Like, she didn't even do it. So even when it's like her own thing, like she wants the rewards and not the work.
Talented. Congratulations. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen. Thank
See you again. Not a social threat, sucking up to her, nervous, all that stuff. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon. Let me know what you want to see next. And do subscribe. I don't want to be one of those people subscribe. But it's like 80% of you are watching all the time and are not subscribed. It tells me the stats, so subscribe. But those who are, thank you so much. And hit notifications.